Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Thursday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's 1930 GMT, and it's time for the Manufacturer Showcase. Today we have a special guest. It's Karen, K0RTX with RT Systems. Welcome, Karen.
I'm glad to be here, Tim. Thank you for having me.
And so, Karen, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what RT Systems does?
RT Systems invented radio programming software for amateur radios 25 years ago. When Yaesu first introduced radios that said they cloned, we looked at it and said, I wonder if we can get it to talk to a computer. And lo and behold, we did, and the rest is history from there. What we do today is move forward with new radios, keep adding them, adding the new features, figuring out how to program them in the background, and we support the radios. We're pushing 450 different radios from both the American manufacturers and all over the world, and can answer all kinds of questions about them. A lot of times done through the programmer. The programmer will give you quite a bit of information about your radio if you just know exactly what you're looking at.
So, for instance, the ICOM IC705 is one of the hot radios that's out there. And so what kinds of things do the RT Systems program for the IC705?
Well, can I show it real quick? I have that one here. Let me find it here on this screen. Real quick. Sorry. Here we go. The 705. May I show it, Tim? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Come on. Sorry. There we go. This is the IC705. We have memories. We have limit memories. We have the DR memories. This is how it comes. And what's nice about this is I can change this list any way I want. I have the call channels. I have the GPS memories. So in any of your programs, always watch the bottom of the screen. But I also have bank names and linking. If you want to rename things so you can find them more easily in the radio, these are the DR memories. These are the memory channel banks. They would correspond to this group right over in here. So everything that you can do from the face of the radio, you can do in the program. You notice I have 3 files open. I have 3 separate files I've saved. I only need to do a get data from the radio once to identify the radio to the program, and then I can create all the files I want. This one also has the fun of the external data with repeater book and RFinder and radio reference, that I can go out and find a location, and just in a matter of clicks and seconds, I can have hundreds of repeaters programmed into this to go to the radio. And we'll set up the banks automatically for you.
That looks great. And so I want to take some of the comments here that are in the chat, and I want to encourage our viewers, if you have a question for Karen, now is a great time to put it into chat. And Clint says, Karen is magnificent. And so thank you for that, Clint. And let's see, we have W8VIP says, hello from Metro Detroit. I love RT Systems software and cables. They have good customer support too. And of course, we try at DX Engineering to answer customers' questions about the software, but sometimes it has to go down to you. And Karen, you and your team do a tremendous job in customer support.
Thank you. Thank you. We try real hard. We are motivated by the thought that we want you to enjoy your radios. That is what we're after. And I've been told that that sounds very altruistic, but it's true. That's what I want. I want you to enjoy your radio. I want to help you get it set up so that you're out playing with it and can go on from there.
So Joe is on with this K0NEB, and he says RT is the only programming software and cables I use. It makes it easy to upgrade radios by copying and pasting the old data from the old radio into the new one. And so, Joe, I think you're absolutely right. And so, if we're doing that kind of an operation, let's talk about updates to the software. Karen, how do you handle updates? How do customers get the updates?
Well, software is a living thing. There's always something changing about it. And so sometime when you bring your software up, just go up to help in the menu at the top and down to check for updates. And the rest of the process is very automatic. It will ask you to close the program in the background once it opens the window saying that there are updates available. Just reach back and close the program. That the little update window will stay up for you. And once it's closed, click update and everything's taken care of. Run the program again and you'll have the latest. So updates are always at no charge in the current version.
Okay. So Kim is on from Denmark, Oscar Zulu 1 Juliet Uniform X-ray, and he says, great software, Karen, I have for my FT2D and FT3D. And then Jeff, KE9 Bravo Victor out in Kansas, he says, thanks for all you do, Karen, and RT Systems. So you've got a lot of fans here as well. So updates are different than upgrades. Is that right, Karen?
That's correct. Updates are within the same version. Right now we're in version 5 for Windows and version 6 for the Mac. Upgrades are like when you come from version 4 to version 5. And there it is a paid upgrade. Generally, proof of purchase is needed to get a discounted price, and we have lots of ways we can do proof of purchase, which we'll take up with someone when they're interested. And we hope we have enticed you with new features in the new version that would make you want to pay for the upgrade. So it's that becomes a choice. You can stay where you are, or you can come forward realizing at some point an older version ceases to be maintained. That doesn't mean it won't work any longer, and it may be working just fine for what you need.
Okay. And Ken is on from England. He says, RT System software is the best time-saving thing you can buy. Love it. And that's G3WNR. And Terry says, this is KE8 Charlie Victor Alpha. He says, I use RT Systems and love it. Thank you so much. Karen, let's talk about the cables, the programming cables that you offer.
Okay. My cables we make right here in house. I have someone who solders for me. And we probably have 18 different cables, and the combinations between the cables and the boards, I have 3 different boards, and the combinations of the cables and boards, I'm probably up to about 36 different cables. We use electrical tape banding in different colors so that just a plain orange cable is not the same as an orange cable with a blue band. That helps everybody in production here. That hopefully helps in the field. And I got cables sitting here. I can show you. All our cables are identified with a label that clearly says that they are ours and which cable it is. And all our color coding, my yellows, my oranges, or my reds, my oranges, all kinds of things. To trying to make it easy. I realized years ago that if I put out all black cables, what a mess that would be. Nobody would figure out which one went with what. And I started changing colors. So, and the newest one coming, I gotta tempt everybody. There it is. It's going to be green. And this is a copy of the SCU-20, which you may not know by number, but that's Yaesu's cable for the 100, the 300, and the 400, which they used to put in the 100 and the 400, and they don't put in the 300 anymore. And I'm afraid the 300 users are struggling with programming with the SD card. And I hate that for them, to the point I had the pin copied, and we're now coming out with a cable. These will be available in limited quantities in January, and then in full quantities mid to late February.
Yeah, that's very nice, Karen. We're on today for the DX Engineering Manufacturers Showcase with Karen K0RTX of RT Systems. And if you have any questions or comments for Karen, please put them in the chat room, and we'll make sure that we have Karen answer them. Let's talk about some of the things that you do when a new radio is released. How long does it take to, like when the 705 hit the streets, how long did it take for RT Systems to come up to speed and have the programming capability ready?
Okay, well, the big thing you have to realize is we don't get radios until they hit the street. And on the 705, I forgot to put in an advanced order, so I had to wait for the second shipment of them before I could get one of those. We didn't get our 705 until the middle of November, and we had software released shortly thereafter, 3-4 weeks after that. I think we had that software out. Software can take anywhere from a month to several months, depending on how complicated the radio is. But you have to remember that Rod has been doing this for 25 years. There is not much they can do in the radios that he has not seen. Although I say that, and I shouldn't tempt them. They'll come up with something. So that's one of the big things he has going for him, is the fact that he's seen it. He knows what to expect. Once he identifies a part of the structure, and you have to remember, he's looking at this all in bits and bytes and zeros and ones and this kind of thing. It's an interesting sight, the map of it. But once he gets a part of it done, he knows what a big block of it is, and he can go on to the next thing. So his experience with it is definitely a great thing for it to move faster than it does.
So Karen, you talked about supporting more than 450 different radios, and what are you doing with all the radios? You buy them and then you figure it out. Do you have like a big I don't know, museum of
yes. I probably own 1,000 radios, because you have to remember, I don't own one of everything. FTM 300s, I own 4 of them because we found a bug in the firmware, and we bricked 3 radios proving that it was a bug in the firmware. And so every time I bricked one, I had to buy another one. And so I have 4 of those radios. And then was able to hand Yaesu the correction. So, because we had to see, is it us or is it the radio? And right. Like I say, we went through 3 radios before we confirmed that nope, it was the radio.
If you have 1,000 radios, I mean, I love radios, but 1,000 radios, that is amazing.
Well, when we moved from Colorado last spring, when we were designing the new office, the radios were a major consideration. Where were they going to be relative to the people and who use them and all this kind of stuff? And I wish I could take my camera back there and show you, because I have a wall 22 feet long with drawers, 30 to the chest, that are just full. And then I got HF radios sitting all on top of it, and 2 shelves above it with radios in boxes. And that doesn't count the 4 boxes that are out in the storage shed, because they're duplicates. And I mean, it's a collection, to say the least. I have a young lady who works for me who I call a radiobrarian, because all she does, besides answer the phone at times, is keep up with the radios and come collect them back off our desks at times. Because when you call me with a problem, I don't have to guess at it. I get the radio, I set it up, I look at it. And because of this, I was able to tell somebody the other day that their 4100 was in bank mode, and that's all that was wrong with it. Um, it's I can help because I can put my hands on the radio and see it do the same thing.
That's an incredible commitment to customer service, to have all of those radios available so that you can, simulate what the customer's telling you. I mean, that's incredible, Karen.
We figure that's the best way to be able to teach and the best way to be able to help. And speaking of problems, if I may please use this platform to present a problem that we know about. I'll do it briefly. It has to do with the Yaesu FT991 and the Mac and Big Sur operating system. It does not work. There's a problem with that upgrade to the operating system. The 991 has been cut out of it, and Silicon Labs is in the process of getting those drivers back in place so they can be installed. There is a fix coming, but all we can do is wait for Silicon Labs to get drivers rewritten to be used. And we're checking constantly. Matter of fact, we checked just a little while ago, and unfortunately, they're not available yet. So just so everybody knows, if your Mac is asking you to upgrade from Catalina and you're using a 991, don't do it right now. Or if you do it, you're going to lose your 991, not only for us, but you're going to lose it for any logging program. You're going to lose it for Ham Radio Deluxe. You're going to lose it for anything that talks to your 991.
So let's talk about internet groups, reflectors for RT systems. How do customers learn things just like what you presented, Karen?
I put it on my webpage, and in all honesty, I don't know how else to present it. We do have a Facebook page, but I didn't think to present it there. In all honesty, Facebook just is not my thing, and so I didn't think of that. But that's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it just cuts down on the calls maybe, but of course, if they know to go to the RT Systems website, there's up to the minute information there. And, if you know that it's a driver problem and it'll be resolved, then you don't have to call in.
Correct. And I try to keep things on the page so that we have it. I have a knowledge base that I'm in the process of rebuilding and cleaning up some. And that's another place for up-to-date information. I'll write a knowledge base article on it. And my how-to videos, some of them aren't videos. Some of them are PDF pages that you can take your time and step through and see how to do things. So lots of good information on the page.
That's great. And I see Ray Novak from ICOM America is in the chat room and says, hey, Tim and Karen, DEN9JA. So great to have Ray. And of course, I know a big portion of those radios that you have in the museum there are ICOM radios, Karen.
Yes, they are. They are. Absolutely. Yep. Quite a few of them. I think I've got 2 705s in the collection. They're coming in handy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brian says N1QP or NI0P. Thanks for the Silicon Labs info. Just talked to NH2A this morning, and he was having that issue. So that worked out good. And in W8VIP, Aaron says, I bought the RT system software for my Kenwood D74HT. I'm wondering, do you look at the OEM software first and improve on it, or do you buy a D74 and make your own software for it? How is your D74 software better than the OEM software?
We buy the radio and make the software, make our software.
You don't look at the OEM software.
We don't look at the OEM software. Sometimes it's not even available, until well after our software is available. How is our software better than the OEM software? Let's put it this way. We're the software people. Kenwood's the radio people. So we've often been told that a lot of the OEM software is so cut and dried, and it's so it's like it was an afterthought, where ours is geared for the user because we've been doing user interface. Matter of fact, that's my job. I go to my husband and go, this doesn't make sense. You need to move this. You need to do this differently. And when it comes to the user interface, the other is the D-Star calculator that's built into it, which will program your D-Star channels automatically. Again, point and shoot and select. The D-Star calculator that'll help you set up your DR memories. And again, I cannot stress that enough. Edit that list. That is just a list they started with. Make it something usable for yourself. The copy and paste between the files, the clear and edit on the screens, the fact you don't have to read from the radio every time you want to program the radio. You just do it once.
Now, those are great hints, Karen. I appreciate you sharing those with us today. And Karen, I don't see any further questions in the chat room. How is the best way to contact RT Systems if somebody has a question? Is email the best? Is phone call? What's the best way?
Email to tech support at rtsystemsinc.com. That you can find that on our website. Phone calls to the numbers on the website, either the 800 number or the 404 number, will both get to us. Sometimes we get a little overwhelmed on the phone, but we do all we can to get back to emails in the same day. Other than weekends, it might wait till the beginning of the week.
Okay, Karen. Well, thanks so much for coming on today with us. It was great to hear the RT Systems story, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. And thank you for all you do and your husband and the rest of the team there to make ham radio more fun for all of us.
Well, thank you, Tim. It was great being here. I really appreciate DX Engineering letting me be a part of this, and we'll keep moving forward and make it good so everybody can enjoy it.
And if you want to order RT Systems products, just go to dxengineering.com. They're on the shelf, and we'll ship them to you tonight. So that's it for the Manufacturer Showcase. I'll be on for the weekend special tomorrow, Friday, at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, 73 from DX Engineering.
73s.